Well, hello, 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 fellow addicts. Welcome back to Addicts Live, your internet escape from the craziness in the world. I'm Alissa, your resident head addict, and I'm joined by my co-host to the north, Super Safi.
Hello, everyone. Greetings from, where am I this week? Rochester, New York.
He's in America, but upstate New York, which we all know how the Simpsons feel about upstate New York.
Cheer up, honey. We're headed to the one place that can never decline because it was never that great. Upstate New York.
Yes, the Addicts Crew is back once again to bring you Simpsons news and Saturday Smiles. And as always, before we get into this week's show, it is time for your weekly reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So hit that red button so you don't miss any of the addicts. And as always, for those not watching this directly on YouTube, I will put a link to the subscribe button in the show notes below us. So subscribe so you don't miss us. And let's get on with the show. Springfield Choppers, not Springfield Shopper. We're not talking about the Springfield newspaper. Springfield Choppers is in its final days as the mini event is set to end this coming Wednesday. With the mini event winding down, it's time to wrap up the event as a whole and discuss what we think we might see next in TSTO. So, Saf, now that you've had time to play it out, as opposed to last week where you barely got into it, your thoughts on the Springfield Choppers event overall?
Again, I really liked the prize track. It was one of the best prize tracks we've had in recent time. Last week when we had a quick little recap or preview, or whatever you want to call it, like an intro to the event, I was still working on the first prize, but now I've unlocked all the prizes. So I'm working on Spyro's quest line, Ashley. I really am and really did enjoy all the prizes. I mean, anytime you get a full character, that's a great price track. But like the decorations that you got, the cage, and all the even like the little motorcycle waste yard, I love them all. So I was really really happy with this mini event. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I finished. I was pretty far ahead by last time we recorded. I'd gotten a decent amount of the way done, so I finished, I believe, either Sunday night or Monday. And that was really logging in just a couple times a day. It was a pretty easy, as always, mini events are easy to finish. So you can do them kind of at your leisure, which is nice. So I finished quickly. Was really happy with the prizes, as we said last week. Really no complaints for me on the prize track. Solid event, solid prizes, no disappointments on the prize track, and great quest line as always. So I mean, it's a great solid little mini event. I was pretty happy with it. And like we said last week, the mini events always seem to be better than the multi events. So it's kind of funny. It's like, well, maybe we should just have more mini events.
Well, that's been a frequent comment in the comment threads. I've noticed. I'm sure you noticed moderating as well. I've had quite a few comments that said, let's just stick to mini events. So, yeah.
And it's funny because back in the day, sound like a grandma addict here. Back in the day, we had level updates, and level updates were what kind of sustained you in between big events. You had level updates, you had these other mini little updates where you had like 4th of July content, St. Patrick's Day content, but they were totally different than mini events. It was like a quest line, a free prize at the end, and then some stuff you can buy in the store. I definitely prefer mini events to the level updates, with the exception of a level update is around forever. So, people are still joining the game, can still play level 55, but they can't go back and play, Valentine's Day 2015. So in that regard, I'm not super thrilled multi-events don't stay around, but I do prefer the the mini event format to level updates for sure. Saf, I know in the last episode we talked about maybe both of us possibly buying Wilbur Nurple, who is the cash for character this time around, like super premium, although he's not really super premium because doesn't earn anything extra than a regular premium character. Did you end up buying Wilbur?
As of right now, no. I am still on the fence. Like I said, I would have liked for a prize character to be someone who was a little more ingrained in the event, or not just, the event, but in like the Simpsons universe. The advantage here, I mean, again, was that Wilbur did contribute to the prize track, to earning event currency and helping you complete the prize track quickly. I mean, you and I both completed the prize track. I completed it without Wilbur, so no issues there. But still, I mean, I am the type of person who does spend money in the game once a year just to kind of like keep the game going and whatnot. But I feel like there may be a better cash deal coming up. So that's kind of, it's got me leaning back and forth. So I haven't. How about you? Did you end up purchasing Wilbur?
As of right now, I haven't. And the more I dug into Wilbur, the more it kind of swayed me against buying him, which is funny.
Well, you did. Where did that come from?
I did a lot of Where Did That Go? I watched a lot of Simpsons last week. And yeah, I remember watching that episode that he came from, The Winner of His Content, originally when it first came out. And so it's funny when I rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this episode. So, you know, having watched it again and again, and I think I watched it like 3 times since. Really, first of all, the character itself, there's no mention of his name. It implies that he's part of the Purple Nurples. And if you read my Where Did That Come From, he's not. He doesn't even hang out with the same people in the group that they showed that was a Purple Nurple. So I don't even know where they, like, the character's definitely there. He had no name in the episode, but I don't know where they kind of developed this storyline from. It must have been like a subplot off of the script itself from the episode, because it's just kind of weird. Like, so the more I dug into him, the more I was like, what? Like, of all the characters EA could have picked to make a cash character, they picked this guy. There are a lot of pros with him for sure. You know, decent price, $9.99 for a full character, plus you get 132 donuts. To me, that's a good value. I wouldn't pay $20. $10 is better. I'd pay $5 for a costume. That's kind of where I think I've said that a few times. And he earned event currency, which we never see these characters do. So that was great. And the fact that he's better than Libido. But his tasks are okay. They're pretty funny. The wedgie task is amusing. But really, he had nothing to do. Like, his character in the game is nowhere near the character in the show. So it's kind of like a weird, I don't know, it's a weird play out for me. Like, his storyline has to do with him hosting a radio show. And I'm like, where does that come from? He doesn't host a radio show. Like, he's given advice to bullies. In reality, he picked on bullies. You know, if you watch the episode, you know, he tried to take out Chester, the bully boss, with a rock from Bart's slingshot because he wanted to be the bully boss. Like, it's just like this whole weird, it doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, the more I dug into it, the more I was like, no, I don't think so. I think I'm going to pass on this one and see what they bring next. Because it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't jive with me.
But you kind of feel like there's going to be more cash characters coming up as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's sticking around, and I just wish EA would do it. It's kind of funny. It's like a catch-22. I wish they would make the cash character a character we want, but at the same time, I'd rather characters that we want cost the donuts, because then more people have access to them, because not everybody can afford to spend money in the game, and I totally get that. And that's the beauty of The Simpsons Tapped Out. It's 100% free to play. You don't need Wilbur to complete this event. You don't even need Wolf Guy Jack to complete this event. Yeah, it is easy enough to do without any of those. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I sat with that. I did buy Wolf Guy. I'm assuming you did too, because he's fun.
Yeah.
And the Greasers Cafe is amusing. But
it was, and I really liked the storyline was really in line with the episode too. So that was nice. Nice little added bonus with Wolf Guy Jack. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's my fault or not, but Quickie Mart farming, donut farming, and it's just made purchasing premium characters a breeze. So I'm even without trying, I just logged in, clicked on my little collect all, and I got like 30-40 donuts, like you said. So still at over 36,000, almost 37,000 donuts right now.
Jeez, and I thought I had a lot. I've got 10,000, and I was like, wow, I've got a lot. But no.
Well, and I haven't even farmed in over a year now. It's been at least 16 months since I last farmed. So, yeah.
I will make another prediction. Don't be surprised if you start to see more ways to spend your donuts in the game. Either characters are going to cost more, they're going to add extra characters, they're going to add extra little features that cost donuts as a way to kind of get you to spend through some of those donuts. And the cash characters are here to stay. I don't see them going away. There was a little hiatus in there with them, but I really think we're going to start seeing that more and more. And I saw somebody made a comment that EA doesn't need the money. We shouldn't pity EA. They're a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar company. It's not that they need the money. It's that if this game doesn't make money, their whole business is to make money. So if this game doesn't make money, it doesn't support itself, doesn't support the staff, doesn't support the servers, they're just going to pull the plug on it. So that's what you're doing. You're by supporting the game, by spending money in the game, you're supporting the fact that the game still exists. For a game like this to still be going on after all this time, and it's 100% free to play, is crazy. There's no ads in it. There's nothing. So throwing EA $1 here and there, spending $1 on a scratcher, buying these characters every once in a while when you can. I know not everyone can afford to, but it helps keep the game on. It helps keep the lights on with the tapped out team.
No, definitely, and that's why I do make a purchase, at least one purchase a year, but yeah, just Wilbur. I'm not 100% on Wilbur right now, and I do agree. I feel like we're going to see more cash characters, and I'd rather make that investment for someone who I'd be more passionate about. Like how excited I was for the nerds, like totally would have paid for the nerds, but Wilbur just doesn't do it for me. I guess I'm into nerds, my type. So yeah.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Safi is into nerds.
Yeah. So interesting predictions. We'll see. I mean, they've been really devaluing donuts. I mean, we've had a couple buildings now that generate donuts. We have Yahweh that generates donuts through his quest line every 52 hours or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's a lot of work for me. It's not. It's too much work. But I also don't have Akira earn bonsai trees because that's too much work too. So I'm just a lazy capper.
Over 500 bonsai trees. Akira's on a constant 12-hour cycle for me. Every 36 hours, I get another bonsai tree. Most of them are storage, but.
He's still the best premium purchase you can make. I am giving 100 donuts for a character building, plus you get the bonus bonsais. Still the best premium character purchase you can make in this game, in my opinion. Say that again?
I still love the nerds.
Well, that was a guild deal. That was the best guild deal you've ever seen. 3 characters for I think $199 or $175. That was a really good deal.
I think, yeah.
But Akira, you could still get now. You can't get the nerds right now, unless I don't know if they're in the yearbook box offhand. I don't remember. There's a lot of stuff in there. I can't remember everything. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly for this event, as we like to do when we wrap up an event. So Safi, what was your good, bad, and ugly for Springfield Choppers?
Good. I'm having a hard time thinking of anything that was good.
You have a hard time thinking anything on this event that was good?
Yeah, I would have to say great. I would have to say the great, the bad, and the ugly, and the price track was great.
I thought you were turning into cranky old guy for a second.
No, I just can't justify calling it good. The price track was great. It was, the Cracker Barrel. I would have to rate this as a top 3 mini event in terms of price track, if not number 1. I really, really loved every single prize that we got. Getting a bonus animation, that's also another little perk. So, for me, it's not just good, it's great. How about you? What's your great or good, excuse me?
So, prize track, as you said, it was a great prize track. It really was. It was a good little prize track. I love the free character. Spiro is amusing. I love the fact that he's voiced, and things he says. That episode is really funny, so I like having him in there. And the bonus animated task for Homer on the motorcycle, awesome, top notch. I love that it was a bonus, not a prize. It was like you unlock the prize, and it was like, ooh, we get a bonus with it. And dialogue, as always, on point, always. And another good was finally fixing the Sideshow Bob issue. I'm glad that finally got resolved for a lot of players. Time for the bad.
The bad. I don't know if I would call Wilbur bad or ugly, to be quite sure. I think I'll put Wilbur in ugly. With bad, I really can't think of anything that was really bad with this. I mean, yeah, I would just say, I honestly, I can't think of anything that was bad with this. It was a really good mini event. I mean, it was, like I said, a top 3 mini event. How about you? Do you have anything bad?
So I'm reverse of you. I'm going to put Wilbur at bad because Wilbur is, it's not a great choice for the Cash character, but the way that they made him interact with the earn event currency and his quest line was funny. I will give him that, and his tasks are funny. So he's not ugly to me. Like, he's not a terrible choice, but just the fact that they made him the Cash for Character prize, I think, was a miss. So I'm going to give that my bad, but I have nothing ugly to say. I think this was just a solid mini event. For me,
yeah, I put Wilbur as an ugly just because, I mean, I think that it's great that they're having a Cash character earn event currency. I think that it's great that the prize is $9.99, but then you make that character Wilbur. I mean, come on. You could have put someone that was more beautiful. Why'd it have to be someone so ugly?
I just don't understand why they give him a purple face. Like, he doesn't have a purple face in any of the episode. Like, he doesn't even if you go back and look at my Where Did That Come From? I put screenshots in there of the purple Nurples. Wilbur is not in there. The people he's hanging out with are not in the purple Nurple group. They're a totally different group of bullies. So I just don't know where they got that from.
That's why he's my ugly. But yeah.
All right, let's do overall grade, even though we don't like to do this until typically we do the year in review, but still fun to give a grade in the moment. So it may change, just subject to, it may change in December when we review the whole year, but overall grade.
Overall grade, if I'm not including Wilbur, I'm just talking about the event, the prize track, the premium content, I would give it an A+. When you bring Wilbur into the equation, I would drop it to an A. But I mean, like Wilbur, like I said, he's got a lot of pros. He earns event currency. So I mean, I kind of do feel like he should be included when you're grading this whole event. He earns event currency. He's a good price. So for those reasons, he's not that bad. He's not going to drop my grade significantly. But it's Wilbur. So that's why it does drop my grade from an A+ to an A when I include Wilbur. How about you?
You were a little more generous than I was. I give it a B+. I think it's just because I'm waiting to see. I have a feeling it'll change once we get to the end of the year. But I feel like in context of mini events, this was really good. It was solid, but we're still only like the third. This is the second mini event in 2021. It's the third event in the year. I'm still reserving judgment. I'll make a final call, I think, closer to the year in review episode, but I think it's at least a solid B+. I don't think it would drop from there. So I think B+ is at a minimum of what it is. But let's jump to some community responses. I actually remembered to put a question up for you guys about your thoughts, and this week I accurately put the poll question in. Imagine that, a poll question that I can actually read the results on. So how about a woohoo for me having a good memory this week? Doesn't happen. Thanks. It doesn't happen often, but I get a little pat myself on the back. I actually remembered a few things this week. So here are the results from the poll question, and I will put this graph in the show notes below as well. But here's how you guys graded it. 10.2% gave it an A. 37.8% gave it a B. 32.9% gave it a C, 16.9% gave it a D, 2.2% gave it an F. So if we look at that, almost 50% gave it an A or a B. The other half, below A or B, but only 2.2% gave it an F. I don't know what those people were looking for. But I am a little surprised by this. Mostly just how many C votes there were. I really felt like this mini event was solid by a lot of mini event standards. So I'm not sure what those who were voted C were looking for in a mini event.
Well, what did the readers have to say in their comments? I'm kind of curious why there's so many C's. And 2%, but yeah.
And a lot of the C voters didn't leave a comment. I guess they just clicked and ran. They didn't want to share their thoughts. They didn't want to elaborate. So we did get some reader comments on these. But a lot of the reader comments were those who gave it an A or a B. So go figure. So CJ Brown, LV, says, I can give this event an A-B+. However, the message should be clear to EA. We need more land. Mini events are the way to go. Do we really need more land? Like, really? I have so much land I don't even use, and I've been playing this game since the start. Do we really need more land? Do you need more land, Saf?
I would love more land, to be quite honest. I don't want to say I need it, but I do want it. Yeah.
More land? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And CJ Brown also says mini events are the way to go. 10 days, 4 to 5 quality prizes, 1 to 2 premium character combos. It would be nice if the decor was available for Simpsons, but I'm fine spending sprinkles if I want it. That's decor that increases your bonus percent or XP. It has a character task. I quit at Act 4 during the last multi-event. I reckon there are others who quit during Act 3 or didn't bother to tap at all. Take the hint, EA, because the message is all over your TSTO Facebook page. All right, then. Gas Boss 775 says, generally speaking, I've always preferred mini events. The preference has been cemented by the ridiculously long major events. I understand that more time to complete events might be of help to some players at the very early stages of the game, but 9 days per act is ridiculous for the majority of players. I do agree with that. When multi-acts or multi-events first started, they were 7 days. It wasn't until Black History Month last year that they extended. They made it 9 days per act, and that's too long. It really is. It's just too long. I get why they did it, because they're trying to build that buffer of a week in there, but it's too long, especially for these type of events. It's just way too long. And CJ Brown responded to Gas Boss and said, it sure was fun in this game app way back when an event had you grinding for content. We had a time limit, but we had various ways to be rewarded, along with more to do with your neighbors. And that's how I could describe this first year of multi-act format. It's actually the second year. It's actually going into the third year. It was fun. Now it's just dumb. The mini event format reminds me of the original level update, a variety of new content to choose from, including premium, and back when obtaining Simpsons meant something, except there's not much to spend Simpsons on now. I think they meant cash. So when obtaining cash meant something. I can understand why, to those who may be brand new, level 30 to the game app, but so were we at one time. If that meant expediting your grinding when you can, you did that. It was a lot more challenging, but noobs have it easy now. The true difference, back then we didn't have so many network issues. I got my first Bart Simpson screen of death problems in 2017, and we're all savvy tappers now. Don't need 9 to 10 days when 5 days is enough. My big concern personally is that the next multi-act event being the same experience since the last one. I quit after Act 3, and I could easily quit any act. It's not worth my time and effort. TSTO always had network issues. Like, they actually pulled the game off of the App Store for like 8 months because it had so many network issues. That's not new. It just depends on where you are on the server. It just means your server is probably having those issues. In the beginning, I had lots of issues. Now I never, knock on wood, have issues. Graham says, I guess you were lucky with network issues. I first started my town around day 10 of Act 1 of winter of 2015. It wasn't Bart curse reload then either. It was retry, and sometimes give up after an hour. I was clueless back then too, trying to deal with the piling of snow and getting hot squishies. I remember winter 2015. That was when I had baby Riley. And unlocking level content to release characters so I had more than just Lisa Descendant for kids. I started my second town just in time for winter 2019, a bit less clueless by then, but I still had to juggle to unlock everyone for the event. The new format helped back to when I started my first town and I was just beginning to make progress, then pop Act 2. Still got a pile of snow somewhere I can't do anything with. At least the rolling axe meant I could go I could go all out on levels for a week in my second town and then catch up. Got all the prizes, but only just, so I wouldn't say a noob has it easy. It's an interesting perspective. I actually like seeing that secondary perspective. Maybe they could balance things a little, perhaps unlock each new act after a week, but keep it at 5 weeks, plus the kind finish the quest until you're on until we issue an update expansion. Higher level players can get on with it and have a couple of weeks to design and mess about with side quests, and the noobs can still have a good go at completing it all. But be nice to see neighbor actions and tappables, spelt neighbor with a U. And tappables back too. But I guess EA hasn't sussed out how to deal with 4 possible currencies to go by the final week. I have a thought on that, which I think is a nice, simple solution. It tracks where you're up to. Got 1 prize? Okay, here's the task for prize 2. Simply check what the oldest incomplete prize track, and that's what the currency is for NPCs. If it is complete and your next part hasn't triggered or you finished it all, let those NPCs play a little cash XP so they're still worth tapping. Patrick, cranky old guy, says, as always, I think mini events are actually better than the longer events these days. The writing is crisp, the prizes are worth tapping for, and they make sense. I'd be fine if they never had another major event again. And finally, Essence says, I really like this mini event, especially like the Ball of Death and the Spyro character. I would grade the mini event a B. What I hope to see next is something to do with gardening. We could use more bushes and flowers. So,
interesting.
Any thoughts on those reactions while I take a swig?
Those are really good comments. I mean, I liked actually looking forward to what may come next, and the thought of a gardening event. I mean, I used to buy a lot of flowers and plants and lay them out around my houses. So that'd be an interesting option for a future event. How about you? Do you have any thoughts about what may come next in the game?
Well, let me preface this by saying we have not received an info packet from EA at this time. It's way too early. So we really, truly have no idea what may or may not be coming next. I suspect it would be a multi-event, just that's the track we're on, and I suspect it would hit the week after this event ends. I don't suspect it will be Easter because it will hit after Easter. So I think that's one thing we can safely rule out. It's spring. But EA needs a calendar, so I don't suspect us to get anything that has to do with spring. We'll probably get a gardening event in September. So,
well, that's when you got to bring leaves.
Yeah, well, listen, we got Cheddar Barrel Farms in September, so and that's when we got extra crops and all kinds of things. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see like extra rose bushes and tulips and all kinds of stuff in September.
And you're heading to spring in the southern hemisphere, so I mean half the world's fine with a gardening event in September. So there you go. It's
true. It's very true. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we see Superheroes 14. One thing I hope we don't see is Game of Games Part 3, because I'm very sick of that. It wasn't good the first time. It was terrible the second time, and yeah. So. But as far as like what I would like to see, I think a gardening would be fun. Something springish would be fun. Something baseball would be fun. I would always love to see the Homer at the Bat, where we talked about this a few times, where they get some of the baseball players to come in and do that. But one thing I do have a theory, and I'm probably way off with this because my theories are never right, but I have a feeling Sideshow Bob may play a role in the next event, because they certainly went through a lot of effort to finally, after 6 years, fix Sideshow Bob. So I have a feeling he may play a role in the next event. Just my theory.
Interesting.
So.
Well, I would love to see another Springfield Heights event, open up the land back there.
That'd be good.
That would be a fun one. In terms of sequels, I mean, they've done a few around the world type events where they've unlocked different countries, but there's so many countries that the Simpsons have been to that they haven't unlocked yet. So if they are looking the sequel route, I agree, Game of Games is not the way to go, but nor is maybe the superheroes. But the world
or wrestling.
Another.
We'll do wrestling again.
Yes, please. But yeah, no, I think maybe another global event. I mean, given the global situation, I feel like they could have a lot of fun with the script as well with that.
I feel
Um,
like we need a good Canadian event. We haven't had we've had little bits and pieces, but like Milhouse. But I think we need like a good Canadian event.
I
That'd be.
strongly support that.
All right, Saf. Do you have anything else you would like to add before we wrap this one up?
No, everyone subscribe. I'll also have a post up sometime soon asking if people have any particular bracket battles that they're really interested in. Um, I do have an idea for this summer still, but I mean, for coming summers, I could definitely use some more ideas. So we'll have a post about that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So next week we will be doing I'm going to call it a mega Simpsons episode where we're going to talk about all the episodes we've missed discussing since Diary Queen, not Dairy Queen. And we'll do a nice big wrap up on that. And then hopefully we'll have a new event to talk about pretty soon. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being part of the awesome Addicts community. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.